Hi, my name is Pepa Randall. Like most kids growing up, AFL was as fundamental to my childhood as learning to read, write and ride a bike. In primary school, I played in a mixed team of boys and girls. But when I arrived here at high school, I was dismayed to find out that I would only be allowed to play soccer or netball in the winter, no footy. I started a petition in Year 7 for the school to run a girls' AFL team. I marched my few hundred names into the sports office to prove to them that girls wanted to play AFL too. But at the time, apparently the world wasn't quite ready for women's football. After I finished high school, I started playing local women's footy. And from that point on, I was dedicated to becoming the best AFL player I could be.
In 2016, the inaugural AFL women's competition was announced.
It seemed too good to be true.
Then on draft day,
Sitting beside my mum and sister, I realised how desperately I wanted this. And then it happened.
Melbourne Football Club select Pepa Randall.
I was now playing for Melbourne Football Club. I was an AFL player. But I never got to play a game for Melbourne.
I was shocked to find out I had a heart condition that needed surgery. And on top of that,
And ruptured 3 ligaments in my ankle. I was forced to watch the first ever season of AFLW from the stands, and it burned me up inside. At the end of the season, I was traded to the Greater Western Sydney Giants. Then 3 weeks out from round 1 of 2018, I got a stress fracture in my fibula.
the doctors told me it would sideline me for months.
I seemed destined to never play AFLW. But something inside me said no. I decided then and there that missing out wouldn't be an option this time. In my locker at the club, I wrote a simple message. You will play AFLW. I wrote it on my mirror. I wrote it in my car. I made sure I saw it every day until I eventually believed it. And by the time it came to selection, I somehow managed to train. And 4 days later, I was picked for round 1. My dream had finally come true. That season, I ended up playing every game for the Giants. And I made the All-Australian squad.
Good stuff, Pepa Randall.
I'm proud to be a Giant. And I value my teammates like my family. Then one day in the car on the way home, I unexpectedly burst into tears in the middle of the road. I couldn't move. I'd been feeling like this for months, or maybe even years. I hadn't realised it at the time, but I had anxiety disorder. Imagine that feeling of waking up the day of an exam, too nervous to eat breakfast, and your mouth is dry, and you feel sick, your heart is racing. And that's what it feels like to have anxiety. But every single minute of every single day. I thought about quitting football. I saw a psychologist, and slowly things started to improve. I began to enjoy it again. And I realised for the first time in my life, I didn't need to be the best. And I wasn't a failure for admitting that. A few years ago, I thought I would never get to play AFL because I was a girl. I thought I would never be drafted that day in 2016. I thought I would never get over my injuries and never play a game. I thought I would be controlled by my anxiety. In a game of footy, you're going to get hit, you're going to get tackled, and you're going to get knocked to the ground. But it's what you do when you get back up that will separate you from everyone else.